Hello, my name is Philip Royce, and I'm going to tell you about my near-death experience. I prefer to call it my death experience because I actually died, and I remember coming back into my body. So when I go to say near-death experience, I hesitate because it doesn't really fit what happened to me. So let me tell you what happened. I was sick because of foodborne bacteria. I have been eating packaged salads from the grocery store that you buy. There's many brands, but sometimes they get contaminated with ugly bacteria like Listeria or E. coli, and I'm not sure which one I had. But this was in Dallas area. I lived in McKinney, and this was in December of 2012, and it was on the news. And I had been sick already for a few days with nausea, vomiting, pain in my stomach. And on the news, it was being reported that people were in the hospital with this breakout of bacteria from salad. And that's all I was eating, basically. I used to eat salads every day that were packaged bag salads. I had already had terrible sleep for about 3 days and was very weak, very exhausted, didn't have very much energy. It hurt to lay down because you lay down for, and 15 minutes you have to roll over and keep rolling over, and the pain would not stop. And then I would get out of bed and walk around and be so exhausted I would just fall back into the bed and then flip over back. And it was horrifying because I couldn't sleep and I had no more energy. I was just like I was going to die. No more energy. So I got up and I got in the shower. And I had an enclosed shower that was like 30-inch by 30-inch glass shower tub, and it was about 4 inches deep with the drain in the middle. And it had the aluminum door frame on one side where you open the door with the magnet latch, And I got in the shower, closed the door, turned on the water as hot as it would go. And I was holding my hands against the tile and going around in a circle from the shower head. And it just felt so good, the hot water. And suddenly I had this projectile vomiting purge, and I just went, and I hit my head on the tile. And I slipped right off my feet and I fell down into the enclosure tub, balled up, and my ribs on my left side were over the drain. So I remember I was on my face, and I remember looking at the shower tub and the chrome piece and thinking, don't fall asleep, you're going to drown, because I was over the drain. And I had no energy to fight it, and I just told myself, oh, you'll be okay. And I just passed out. So the next thing I know, I'm in a place, it's like a room, the walls, it's like the size of a typical bedroom, and it had the floor of my bathroom, but yet there were other people I could see around me in other rooms. It was kind of like we were bubbles in caviar or something, but I could see that there were different people around me. There was a guy to my right that was on the floor, and he was on his hands and knees and moaning and heaving. It looked like he'd been food poisoned also. I could hear a woman moaning, and I could actually tell what she was thinking. She was sad because she had died and she had young children that she did not want to leave. I'm not realizing that I'm dead yet, but I'm obviously in a queue or some type of place where you go after you die to decompress or get out of your energy form of your earthly body or something. I don't know. I'm looking around and I'm noticing all of these people were in different states of the form or the way that they had died. And it's like we had all arrived at the same time, and it was just like a big queue. And I got the impression that we were moving somewhere, like toward the spirit world or some place that you go, maybe to process your spirit to get another body and come back through the moon to reincarnate or something like that. We were going somewhere. There was a method and a fabrication procedure to it, like, here we go. And these two beings came up to my room, and they were looking down at me. Now, these guys, they were male. I don't remember specifically their faces. I don't remember if they had long hair and beards or looked like angels or anything, but I have the impression that they were humanoid, but not exactly like us. So they came up, and there were two of them looking at me, and the one on my right said to the one on my left, he said, what is he doing here? He doesn't belong here. Send him back to the shower. And I went up immediately out of my cell or my bubble, and I turned around and I went back through this tunnel of light. it wasn't a white light, it was like the multicolored lights. So then that memory of that scene ends. Now I go back in a different time and I wake up. So I remember I was in the shower and I just got up and I was on my knees and I was going around in the water like this, and the water was really hot and I was enjoying it, and I thought, wow, I feel so much better. You know, since I had thrown up and fallen and gotten back up, I felt no pain. I thought, wow, I don't feel anything. And I had my eyes closed. And I was feeling the water go through my ribs and trickle down my ribs, and it was going around my heart, and it was going over all of my organs, my liver, my kidneys. I could feel all of my organs inside my body being stimulated by this hot, hot water. And it just felt so good. And then I could see energy fields, and it was all the colors that you can imagine and more. It was like being, I was in that light being field where everything is made of light and color, frequency, and I could see energies, and I was using my hands to see and smell and read everything, texture, temperature, and I could see swirls and patterns and things that looked like those Mandelbrot patterns where you have like that amoeba shape that as you zoom into it, it keeps repeating, and energies coming out of things. When the water would hit the water behind me, it would go it would hit the surface of the water in the tub and then splash out like a shape of a hair follicle, and the energy would come out, and I was watching all the water drops hit the surface of the water, and it was all going right through me. And I did that. In time, it felt like it must have been about 25 minutes. And suddenly I realized, what am I doing? I thought, I've never done this before and had water going through my body and enjoyed it and seen all these things. And what is this I'm doing? So I opened my eyes and I looked down, and there was this naked body underneath me, balled up on the shower tub floor. It was like 30-inch by 30-inch shower tub floor. And I looked at it. I hadn't recognized myself yet. And I saw my head was next to the tile, and I was on my left cheek like this, and the water was up to about here. It was above my temple right here. It's like 4.5, 5 inches deep. Only my head, this part was sticking out. And there was vomit on my head, and it was rainbow colored, peachy colored, and maybe you don't like these details. I was looking at it, but as a spirit, I didn't respond like, ooh, I just was looking at it. And then I could see bubbles going up the wall, up the tile. I had these 4-inch tiles, and I could actually see like a cloud of bubbles where the bacteria had digested and had gas, and they were climbing up the tile. I looked at the face, and I thought, yeah, that looks like me. Yeah, that's me. That is me. Yeah. And I looked around and I thought, well, it can't be good. I can't be breathing because my nose is underwater, my mouth is underwater. I think that's the only way. I had to think about it. That's the only way I could be breathing, and I'm not. And then it hit me all of a sudden. I just went, oh, no, I'm dead. And that fear, just everything flashed before me in less than a second. It was like, this is the way my family's going to find me. Who knows how many days later. I was all by myself in the house. I was divorced with shared custody of my children, and they would come over every week, so someone wasn't going to find me for a few days. And I thought there would probably be water running out in the street down the gutters until somebody busted down my door to find out what was going on, and if they hadn't seen me for a few days. And no one would know what happened to me. I would just be found drowned in my shower, And I did not want to be dead. And that fear, when I just realized, like, oh my God, I'm dead. It was like, just a lowering of frequency. I just literally just got sucked in. It was right through my chest. I just went right back into my chest. And it was painful. It's hard to come back into your body when you feel so good and you have no pain in the spirit world, in the energy world. And then you choose to come back. So then that memory stops. Then I remember I was in the shower, I was underwater, and my eyes opened. And I saw the water level up over my eye, and I realized that I had drowned, and the last thing before... That I remembered is I told myself, don't pass out, you're going to drown. And I went, oh no, and I pushed off the floor and I sprung. I had to pull my skin off of the drain, which was going down the drain. I ripped myself off the drain and I came out and I busted the door open and I rolled out onto the bathroom floor and I just exhaled water. It felt like for almost a minute. It was all coming out of my lungs. And I was looking at that and realizing, it's shooting like a garden hose out of my lungs, all of this water. And then I noticed around my hands, I was splashing on the floor and my bathroom had about an inch of water. And I'm just bewildered. I'm looking around and I'm exhaling water. And I'm thinking, what happened? And then I got up. I stood up and I looked in the mirror and man, did I look different. My eyes were all just saggy and looked like my eyeballs were going to pop out. And on my ribs here, I had a ring with little nubs from the grill pattern of the drain. It looked like a French fry cutter. And my skin had started to, actually it was waterlogged and was starting to go down the drain with the negative pressure. I don't worry about death for sure anymore. I know we continue on and our spirit goes on forever. And there are different places we go. I've lost motivation for my career and for ladder climbing and for making a lot of money. A lot of things don't matter to me anymore. I don't have the will to have super nice material goods. A lot of my ex-colleagues and family, they think I've lost it and flipped out because just completely changed. I'm a different person. I'm much more spiritual, not as religious, not as organized religious, but I am much more spiritual. In this experience, I did not see the Lord or God, the Father, although I know they exist. It just wasn't my time.